What is going on, you guys? This is Brandon from ComixKings. Welcome back to the kingdom. Welcome if this is your first time. And you guys know what today is. It's Thursday, Tag Team Thursday. We started over at 6:30 with Rod Chesterican and his comics. And then we went over to John's Comics with Kids for the comic community news at 6:45. And then at 7 o'clock was Tony Old Wolf 65. 7:15 was Dan, Comic Tribe News, where you guys just came from. Today, I'm closing it out because my man Justin's taking a break. All good, but hopefully I can live up because it's such high standards, such a high ceiling. Hopefully I can get there, but I do have a surprise for you guys. This is Crisis on Infinite Rants, the most random show, which is why you guys are getting such a cool surprise, and let's bring him in. It's my man, Bryce. How are you
What's up,
doing?
guys?
We got
Good to
Bryce
be here.
and we are talking about Infinite Frontier. So if we could redo Infinite Frontier, if we could keep, switch, or change any of these titles, what would they be? How are we liking Infinite Frontier? What books you should stay away from? What books you should be picking up? Let's say hello to the chat. We got a lot of people in the chat. If I can just go up on.
Wow.
We got Rod in here. What's going? We got Steve Arod in here. We got Fable. What's going on? We got Travis in here. And if you guys want to give your thoughts on Infinite Frontier, what book is your favorite? Let us know in the comments. Let's talk about that. We got John. Yes, sir. We got Fable again. We got Big Herm. How are you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Sir? We got the Rogue Trader. What's going on, sir? Who else is here? We got Dan right over here coming in hot, flailing arms. Yo, go hard.
Only way to do it.
Go hard or go home. Simple. And Johnson, simple. How do we fix DC and Frontier? Less Batman and Joker related stories. We are definitely going to get into that because one of the characters that was a Tinian character, I call it a royalty character. Punchline is barely in anything. Just and what's going on, Jen? How are you doing? But we're going to go over the core titles first that we saw in the Infinite Frontier one-shot right now. So first book, we got The Flash, which is by Jeremy Adams, and then art by LaFuente and Brandon Peterson. Pass. Change it.
I would lean towards change it, but I haven't seen enough from the current creative team yet. Like, I enjoyed issue 768. I haven't gotten a chance to read 769 yet. Thanks, Rod. Thanks, Big Herm. Too many bad titles, yes.
We're going to get to that.
Even though most of them are pretty good. But the thing with Flash, I don't know. It's too early for me, so I would say, I'm neutral on that one right now. I hate being neutral on a Flash book, but I am.
Well, because here's the thing. We just came off a huge run from Joshua Williamson, who is now kind of like the anchor of Infinite Frontier, supposedly. So here's the thing, guys, with DC events, right? So with New 52 and Rebirth, DC has always said, hey, guys, we have a plan. Stick with us. We have a plan. And then it turns out it's shit. They don't have shit, and they're not going anywhere. Okay, it was like that in New 52. A year into it, nothing. Let's save it with the Dark Side War, which led us into Rebirth, which is like, oh, Jeff Johns is going to do everything. Doomsday Clock, 3 Joker, supposed to lead Rebirth. No, didn't happen. We don't have a plan. And then we're supposed to be in 5G. Dan DiDio got fired, or removed, fired, and 5G didn't happen. Now Infinite Frontier is like, hey, you guys already know we don't have a plan. We don't know what the fuck's going on.
I'm just going to tell you, we have nothing.
So here you go. This is what you're going to get. Because this is just where it's going. Here's everything we have stored up. Here you go, all at once.
But
they
honestly,
don't know where it's going. I don't think they're thinking ahead. They're just giving us everything at once. And they're being brutally honest about this thing. We don't care. And yeah, there are titles like Swamp Thing that are
fantastic.
But as a continuity kind of relaunch, is it so great if you're looking at the bigger picture? I would say as individual titles, they're great, but I don't think I would go as far to say they're killing it. I want to see what the Infinite Frontier one-shot next month is looking at. What is up, Adam? But stick with me, guys. Stick with me. I don't care what you guys
see. That's you talk about continuity. I'm to the point with DC where I'm like them, just saying screw continuity. Just give us good stories, because that is where DC shines.
Exactly.
It's just giving us good stories.
Exactly. And right now, coming out of Future State, so Infinite Frontier is saying, after Future State, we're going back to the post-death metal. And this is a possible build-up to Future State. It could potentially build up. Future State happens in the future, and there are infinite universes. So if it doesn't work, they can go ahead, and there's kind of like a back door saying, we don't have to go this route because it's infinite universes. Who cares? This doesn't have to lead into Future State, and this could be 2 months that no one will remember. That's like my
I mean, they're literally being so on the nose with that. One of their worlds is called Elseworld.
Exactly. And there's like, and everything that doesn't sell can go there. So you're gonna see the Harley Quinn book, the Suicide Squad.
It's like
they're all gonna go over there.
It's like the freaking negative zone. They throw it into space, never to be seen again.
Exactly. So, are you working for Marvel? Is that why you're throwing shade DC? I wish I worked for Marvel. You know, I give them so many ideas, but death metal.
Are you writing Department of Truth? Because that's a nice theory.
Yeah. Exactly. I have zero enthusiasm for Heroes Reborn. Exactly. I don't care for that book. And yeah, Jason Aaron's a great writer, but not with that. So after that, after Flash, we got, or who would I replace Flash with? I would love to see Gail Simone. I know I would love to see a Wally series and a Barry mini series because Barry is right now managing the Speed Force, or he should be managing the Speed Force. I would love to see Gail Simone do that. I would. Gail Simone would be a great person.
See, I wouldn't mind if you're going to do like all these backup stories at DC. I would be fine paying the extra $1 for a Barry backup story every month.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, DC's like doing this thing with their backup stories. Like, oh, I would care to see some of these in a title, but you're not going to give them to me. Like the Red Hood.
Justice League Dark.
Like Batman and the Outside. It's a Batman, but Justice League Dark. Thank you. The Punchline should be a miniseries. There's no reason. If you're going to introduce Punchline and say we have big plans for her, give her a mini. Don't give her a backup where her biggest threat is Bluebird.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, but Justice League Dark and Punchline should not be limited to the same page count as Bibbo.
Or Jimmy Olsen.
Or Jimmy Olsen, yeah. See, it's a Jimmy Olsen story, but it's Tales of Metropolis. It's a Jimmy Olsen story, but
I would love to see Zdarsky do a Wally West. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Scott Young for Impulse. For Wally West, I would love to see Peter Tomasi throw his give him some treatment. I would love to see what Joshua Williamson, because if he loves writing the Flash, he hasn't really touched on Wally a whole lot other than that one little arc and barely, but I know that's not going to happen. Brandon Bryce, you've changed? No. This is what we talk about off camera, and it's just up here. And then we got Justice League by Bendis and David Marquez. I would take Bendis off this book. I would say keep him because he's Bendis, and if it's anything like the New Avengers, keep it. But no, it's not good.
I would say take Bendis off. I would keep Marquez because I'm liking the art style, but. And that's not to say that Bendis' run won't get better. I'm still holding out hope for another issue or two that it'll get a little bit better.
Right.
But as of right now,
if you can get
take Bendis off.
If you can get Dan Abnett to do it, I would love for that to happen. If you can get Dan Jurgens to return to the book since he's still for some reason, I would do that. Yeah, I would go with that. I would like to see Dan Jurgens do Justice League. Honestly, I think he is a Robert Venditti. He was writing Justice League and it was fine. And is Bryce Guy Gardner? No.
Don't you put that evil on me.
The less Punchline, the better. If they use her too much, she wouldn't be special anymore. But it's like they use her so much, and now she's like,
See, I like Punchline right now because she's not as over used as Harley.
Yeah, speaking of Harley, cut that book. And then we have...
Yeah, because she's in Batman. She's in Batman pretty much every issue.
Right. And then we have Batman by Tinian and Jimenez, which you guys already know. Obviously, we're going to keep that book.
Keep it.
It's fantastic. Superman...
I don't know if I'll be keeping that book in a few months.
Yes. Then we have Superman by Philip Kennedy Johnson with Tom Taylor coming on the main title. PKJ is going to stay on Action Comics. So this is one of the Tom Taylor books. Yet to be announced when it's going to be dropping. I think June they said.
July.
It was either June or July.
June and July,
But
yeah.
it's focused around John, and I don't know what to expect from this book. Mostly because I don't know if I trust Tom Taylor enough yet. Like, he's writing my favorite character in DC. He's done a lot of great work. It's just I don't know if John is a character that I'm interested in the first place.
Well, Tom Taylor has said that he's wanted to write Superman for a while.
Right.
Now, whether I'm sure he meant Clark, but I'd be interested to see what he could do with John.
I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
Great, honestly. It'll be fantastic. Philip Kennedy Johnson on Action Comics allows him to have one singular storyline. I'm here for it. I'm enjoying it. So, and then we got Wonder Woman by Becky Cloonan, Michael Conrad, and Travis Moore. If you guys are sleeping on a book, that's definitely this one. Keep it. Also, stay tuned for more information with Becky and Michael because they are friends of the show, and we will be having them sooner than later. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Keep this book. It is an Asgardian Wonder Woman. She is basically kicking ass on Asgard.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. And the art's fantastic. Travis Moore is fantastic. Definitely.
Yeah. If you haven't been a fan of Wonder Woman, like I know I was never a huge fan, this is a good arc to jump into if you just know what happened at the end of Death Metal.
And the Rogue Trader says, I just want to book any place that or set anywhere else but Gotham. And you have Wonder Woman on Asgard.
Wonder Woman, you've got
huge change of scenery for DC, so go read it. DC has great characters, not all bad family.
Blasphemy.
We got
comic. What's wrong with you? Yeah, I'm working for DC.
By Maake Tamaki and Dan Mora. Keep it. It's fine. It's reminding you the Batman is broke every 2 seconds, but the story's building, so I'm enjoying that.
I'm really liking Detective.
Right.
It's probably the Batman book I'm more excited for than Tynion.
Well, you know what you're getting for Tynion. There's no surprise. You're gonna get a new character and Tynion and Jimenez draw teaming up. Rod said Rich Duick, that Superman book from IDW.
Didn't know about that. Rod dropping some news. This is our show, man.
Wow. I didn't know about that. Might have to hop on. And then Fable's continuing to
pretty cool though.
Fable is here for Yarflores. I'm working
for DC.
About it, Bryce. Yeah, we'll fight. Next, we have the Green Lanterns book by Jeffrey Thorne and Dexter Soy that does not feature your two biggest Green Lanterns, Hal Jordan, Kyle Rayner. I'm out.
I would argue that John Stewart's a tad bigger than Kyle Rayner, but
I don't care what anyone says. I will not buy a Green Lantern book that does not feature any of the two characters. If you are going to not have Hal Jordan in here, then put him in his own series. But because you guys have failed on the TV platform to do anything with the Green Lanterns, even in the Snyder Cut, they're now saying that they're supposed to be John Stewart was supposed to be there instead of Martian Manhunter. Then they're saying, hey, look, we're supposed to have two Green Lanterns. You got none. Other than the weird schmuck in the flashback. But
which that HBO series could change things. I'm looking for that HBO series.
I think Tynion's Batman is great. I said it was great.
Yeah, it's really good. I don't know how much it's going to be for me after a while.
I don't care what anyone says. If there's a Green Lantern book and Hal Jordan's not there, I don't care. I don't care for Jessica Cruz. I don't care for Guy Gardner. I don't care for Teen Lantern. And to be very honest, I don't really care for that Far Sector girl. I read it. And it was such a slow build. I think Jessica Cruz would be fine in a miniseries because her character is so evolved in bigger books than what she actually is, and there's no little time to focus on her. That's my biggest issue.
Yeah, because I haven't seen a Jessica Cruz book since I've been reading heavily, and so I don't know.
Right, and a lot of people are very attached to Jessica Cruz. I mean, she's fine, but I would like to know her better before you're making her a main spotlight in a teen book. That's just the way I feel. It's like you're putting Ronin, right? Hawkeye Ronin, without saying this is actually Clint Barton as the face of the Avengers Squad. And it's saying, boom, get used to it. And it's like, I don't know. I don't care. So that being said, fine. Then we have Teen Titans Academy by Tim Sheridan and Rafa Sandoval. I'm in.
Speaking of who is this? Red X, we still don't know who that is.
Don't know who that is, Red X, but it's fine. I'm fine for it. Keep
I'm down.
reading that. Thank you, Fable. I love you too. At least you're real, unlike this guy right over here. But and then we have the Infinite Frontier series by Williamson and Zermanico. That's how you're pronouncing. That's coming in June. That was just released in the solicitations. That's going to be headed by Josh Williamson. I just said the team is going to be Alan Scott, who we saw in the one shot, who
Okay.
came out as LGBT, which
Yeah, I'm indifferent towards. I mean, we kind of knew that already.
we knew it. We knew it. And then Roy Harper, who I'm very excited to see play a bigger role.
Yes.
I'm excited to see this leap of faith from Roy. I think he's the most underrated person, and he's been slightly as tormented. I call the big three: Wally West,
Dick Grayson, Wally West.
That's the big three that the deal destroyed.
Were they prominently featured in Young Justice? Yes. Screw them.
Yep. Someone didn't have a happy childhood, and he's screwing them over. Thank you, Didio. And then Barry Allen's going to be there, and then President Superman, who I don't know enough about, but I'm interested to see him head a team because we do get flashes of him here and there. So I'm excited for that.
He's from one of those alternate worlds, isn't he?
Yeah. He's from one of the alternate worlds, like an alternate Superman, African American, and he's president. So I'm enjoying that. So they're going to be looking for the quintessence who was killed by Darkseid. And as you guys know, Darkseid was in Infinite Frontier, made his big appearance, drawn horribly by John Romita Jr. And
I didn't mind it that much. I wouldn't say it was horrible. I thought it was a cool reveal. But
here's the cool thing is Infinite Frontier, I don't think has a lot of options on where to go with villains other than Darkseid because their continuity has been so fluctuated. Darkseid is outside of every continuity. He's outside of the multiverse. So you can throw him in and he can be like, wait, what? It wasn't
pretty much.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm excited.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know Barry was going to be there. And so I'm excited to see more Joshua Williamson with Barry Allen.
You guys are saying I changed. It's like I get Travis Krakoa.
Krakoa.
So, and then did you hated them, the big three? We know. In March, just got to run down the list. Joker, which is by Tinian and Gillian March, and then Backup Story, which is featuring Punchline. I am enjoying it, but I don't think it's necessary, so I would cut it. I would cut the book. We're coming out of an era where there's too much Joker. I'd get rid of it. I would cut most of these March titles being Harley Quinn by Stephanie Phillips and Riley Rossmo because you're getting her in Batman.
Exactly.
Drawn
either cut the book or get Harley out of Batman.
Exactly. And then you have Suicide Squad and Crime Syndicate. Suicide Squad I get keeping. But the fact that Tom Taylor's run got kept to 12 issues, I'm not so sold that Robbie Thompson is going to do better than Tom Taylor. And it was a good book. It's just Suicide Squad has never been a big seller. So as a business, I would make it a miniseries.
It's one of those things. I think they would have kept him on there had he not getting ready to do Nightwing and Batman the Detective and
DC's going through the Marvel handbook of fuck it, just use Thanos, but insert and Big Herm. I just don't like Riley Rossmo's art. That's my biggest thing.
I'm learning to love Harley. 6 months ago, until I saw the Harley Quinn animated series, you asked me who my least favorite character in all of comics was. It was Harley Quinn.
Right. I mean, the animated show was great. They need to get back to that. Yeah, the only issue for Harley is the art. And again, it's Riley Rossmo, and it's a very different style. Crime Syndicate is a mini. I would still cut it because it's just no. No, I mean, it's just like there, and it's not doing much, and it's under everyone.
Yeah, like some of these minis, it raises the question: do you cut some of these minis that are, getting like
the level and talent is stacked in the Batverse? Yeah, they really do like to stack their Bat books, and you have so many of them, which is why you can kind of trim the fat and really pick out what matters, right? Because if you have like Batman's going to be a big seller, but would you rather have the main two titles sell more? Or 5 Batman books each sell at like an average. You know,
I think it would all go down. I think it would all come out to about the same.
yeah, but I still prefer two
Because if
rather.
Joker got cut, people would jump over to Batman, or people would jump over to like Detective if they're reading Batman.
It's not even a Joker book. It's Jim
It's
Gordon.
Jim Gordon, yeah.
But it's
Or
Jim
if
Gordon.
the Detective got cut.
If Tynion was not writing this book, it wouldn't sell because Tynion's
Yeah.
on a hot streak, and it's that simple. You put Tynion's name on it, you put Taylor's name on it, you're gonna sell books.
I mean, you put Taylor's name on it, I'm gonna buy it.
Swamp Thing came out in March. First issue by Ron V and Mike Perkins. This book is.
For the love of God, keep it.
You got to keep it, and you got to do more with it.
You got to do more than 10 issues.
You got to do more than 10 issues. And honestly, this is where I'm disappointed where Vertigo's gone, because this is where that book belongs in. I think Ron V wants to give it the Vertigo treatment, but there's a line. And I'm like, what if him and Mike Perkins broke that line? And I love
it. Just kind of ride the line a little bit. Like, it's not quite Black Label, but it is so close to being Black Label that you can almost see it crossing the line.
Right. It's fantastic. Even not reading Swamp Thing, pick it up. It's
my gosh.
Doing a new character, a new Swamp Thing. So if you're upset that Alec Holland isn't the main focus, don't. Because they're doing it in a way that's organic and natural, and it's very meaningful getting to know this new Swamp Thing.
And if you're like me and you've never read a Swamp Thing book, this is a good jumping on point because it's a new host.
Checkmate is a book we don't want to sleep on. Am I reading Checkmate?
I didn't read Event Leviathan, so I'm not gonna be picking it up.
I did read Leviathan. I forgot about that book. Pre-order it now. The biggest spec book is Bendez's next failed event. I mean, Leviathan wasn't that good anyway. I mean,
I would rather read a Bendis event than a Tom Kane event at this point. I'm still not over Heroes in Crisis.
Right, and then we have a Superman and Batman by Jen Luen Yang and Ivan Reyes. Jen Luen Yang is obviously writing Shang-Chi over at Marvel, and then this book, Ivan Reyes, you have to put on a book. I would prefer if you just put him on a Hal Jordan book and cut this title.
The Green Lantern,
on a Justice League title. He doesn't draw Justice League yet. Maybe. No. He didn't.
There's not a Lantern on Justice League right now.
No. Not a Lantern. They're so anti-Lantern right now. What is
that's a good question.
Who Swamp Thing is? Bryce, you're loving this book. You got it.
Okay, so Swamp Thing is basically the man is a host for the Green, essentially. And that's basically what's happening right now. It's kind of like a werewolf type situation where he comes out at night or comes out when he's asleep and he has these nightmares. But previously Swamp Thing was an experimental humanoid plant with the consciousness of a dead scientist. And Alan Moore went in depth on that. So if you want to know a ton about Swamp Thing,
watch Dan's book club. Watch Dan's book club.
Watch Dan's book club and read Saga of the Swamp Thing, issue 21 by Alan Moore.
And then read this.
And then read this.
To the anatomy of Swamp Thing, because Mike Perkins draws a very similar parallel in the last issue. So
3 issues, that's all you need.
He was once a real person. He's able to keep his same consciousness. It's just in the mind of the plant and be in touch with what's called the Green.
Yeah. That's the original Swamp Thing doesn't have a body anymore after he becomes Swamp Thing. It's just his consciousness.
Right. And this is by Ron V, who's written Swamp Thing. He's making a new character.
Yeah. And this is a whole new one where he does have a body and he has his own consciousness. Actually, werewolf wasn't the best way to describe it. It's kind of like Bruce Banner and the Hulk.
Maybe. No, because the consciousness of the Hulk varies.
That's fair.
That's not really Hulk. So it's like, and the Immortal Hulk is like playing all that.
That's fair. But I mean like the Doctor, like the Jekyll Hyde.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
I would cut the Superman and Batman book. Honestly, it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
And I get the need for having these two guys on a book, but I would prefer Jen Luen Yang to write Justice League with Ivan Reyes. If that's the case, I would prefer that. I would like that to happen. Yes, and
that's basically what I was trying to say
about the Swamp Thing again. So this is the guy fit to be read. You got to hit up him and watch his book club going over that. It features a lot of great people as the panelists, and it's fantastic. I think I've watched it twice now. Dan, I'm sorry. I binged you on a Friday night.
I'm about to do that pretty soon. Actually, I didn't know he did. I didn't know he did a book club.
Yeah. And did Dan do another book club? I think soon. I don't know what they're doing next, but I'm sure. Let me know.
Sweet.
And then we have the Catwoman book, which is by Ron V and Blanco. Cut that book because
I actually heard that book was really good.
I heard it was good. It's just unnecessary.
That's fair. That's fair. You can include Catwoman in maybe the Detective Comics book a little bit.
I think you can include her anywhere. Like a lot of these characters that are like in the Batman universe,
not in the Batman.
They're only there because Batman's eventually going to show up and tell them they're doing it wrong. So put him over to the Batman book so that he can just tell them in that book.
I would hate to see another character come into the Batman book though. It feels so overpopulated.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, how can you guys tell so many Gotham stories at the same time? Just cut half and make us all happy. But then we got everyone's favorite book, Nightwing. Can't praise this book enough. It is the best book in DC right now. I think everyone's reading this book, so there's not much more we got to. Between the two, you have me hooked. And Ryan, I'm getting to know. I'm getting more informed on comics. I even sort of know who Ron V is now. Huh? Whoa, well.
He's a writer to always watch out for.
Exactly.
He's writing Swamp Thing, Catwoman right now, which even though we say cut, they're not going to. So if you like Ron V, pick that up. And then the Many Deaths of Layla Starr that dropped this week.
Or just buy another Batman book, or buy something else that's unrelated to Batman, just so they'll cut it.
Swamp Thing, Layla Starr. There you go.
Yeah, and then that's it for the month of March. We're gonna go on April. We have Robin, which is actually coming out this week. This week, which by Williamson and Gleb Metlinkov. I think he did an issue Detective Comics at the end, or no, that was heavily. But this is about
he did the backup stories.
So this is playing off where we left off with Damian's story pre-Infinite Frontier. So I'm on board because I like Damian and I like Joshua Williamson exploring this flawed character.
And it's not Gotham centric.
And it's not in Gotham. With his mom this time. So he's gonna kill. It is great.
He's in like a Mortal Kombat style tournament.
And then we got Dan and I have a show coming out, so
I'm definitely gonna be watching. Daredevil's my favorite character.
So Dan, thank you for the plug and the cool little segue in this DC hosted show. So that's going to be a lot of fun talking with Dan about Daredevil. So I'm excited for that, and we're going to be talking more about that hopefully after this show. And then we have the next Batman, which is written by John Ridley and Travel Foreman. This is Tim Fox being the next Batman, and it's a miniseries, and I don't care. I got it. Get rid of it. No, it didn't even sell well after the first issue. It was like the first issue sold well, and they're like, "Oh, we struck gold," and it didn't.
Even everybody was complaining about the Future State stuff too. They're like, don't read next Batman. If you're gonna read a Future State Batman book, read Dark Detective.
So all the descriptions for everyone on Tag Team Thursday is in the description below after this video. So just check that out, and you can be able to sub everybody up.
Most definitely.
And that's my play to go sub everyone up. So you get to know what Rom V has written and what he got into writing using Indian mythology. I'll have to check out the interview. I haven't seen that yet.
Oh yeah. PCP did an interview with them. I started watching that, but I haven't gotten to finish it yet.
Okay, word. And then we have Batman: The Dark Knight by Taylor and Kubert. I would say cut it because we're overflooded with Batman titles. And you got another one on the way with Garth Ennis and Liam Sharp. But
that's one where
it's fun, but no.
It's only a miniseries, so I'm gonna say keep it, especially for only 6 issues.
Bro, it's fun, so it's not really. There's no harm, so you keep it, but
yeah,
I'm not. I like it. I like Tom Taylor and I like Kubert, and who knows, it'll pick up. But if you're trade waiting it, I totally understand because it's gonna finish, it's gonna start, it's gonna finish.
Yeah, issue 1 was definitely a lot of setup, but the ending teased some stuff that.
Ending to the detective was great. I think that was awesome.
Such a good story idea that I can't believe hasn't been done sooner.
Travis, you give me a blue wrench, I drop your link. And then that's it. That's it for April. We're on to May. We got Mr. Miracle, which is featuring Shito Norman. He's another Mr. Miracle. I think I butchered that name, but I've never heard of him. And this is going to be written by Brandon Easton, art by Fico Ossio. Obviously, they're not going to use Scott Free because you're never going to be able to live up to what Tom King and Mitch Gerads did. So,
yeah. I don't know. If you're going to do a Mr. Miracle book, might as well. They're giving everybody else a book.
No Gotham, no new characters, no old characters. I didn't say no new characters. Honestly, okay, this is my pitch for a Batman book. If you're going to add another Batman book, trim the fat of all these other books. If you want to have 3 Batman books, like the New 52 did with Detective, Eternals, Batman Eternal, and the regular Batman title, that's my pitch. Is if you're going to develop the Bat family, the best way to do that is them working together as a team, okay? And honestly, James Tynion could write it. He did it with the Detective Comics, the Gotham Knights run. So that's my pitch.
Which, yeah, I would love to see another Robin's book in the style of like
better.
Yeah,
that's my pitch. I would love,
and you could have so much clashing in the beginning that leads to some rewarding family moments, especially between like Dick and Jason.
Exactly. Like you want to know how to include Batwoman, spoiler, Orphan, instead of making them their own characters, putting them somewhere else where they're not really going to do as well. Put them all in a book together, because even if you don't like Orphan, let's say you're not an Orphan fan, you're not a spoiler fan. Maybe you like the way that Jason Todd could talk to Damian Wayne, or Tim Drake is going to try to be the leader again. That's my pitch, because and they don't all have to be in the same like book issue by issue, but you can include all the different Bat family, make like some big detective thing of the Bat family doing it on their own without Batman. He can overshadow, like kind of stand in the dark, kind of like how Superman is the father figure for John and he's like his mentor, or Nolan is
to Mark Grayson.
To Mark Grayson and Invincible. That's my pitch. So instead of doing that, bring back Paul Dini. Yes.
Bring back Paul Dini, yes.
Thank you, because another thing we're missing in Gotham is that street level stuff, and that's where the Bat family succeeds. Whenever, like, look at Joker War. When Batman said to his team, "Go out," we never saw what they did.
That's why I honestly prefer Detective Comics right now to Batman, because Detective feels much more street level.
Right. Oh, Sheila Norman is from the Morrison 7 Soda. That's why I don't know. It's because I didn't read it.
But you mentioned how they're handling some of these characters. One thing I will say is I love how they're handling Barbara Gordon right now.
Right. Yes.
Barbara Gordon is being handled beautifully.
Yes, and I'm glad that she doesn't have her own series yet. Let everything calm down. Get her back in action as Batgirl. You know what I wouldn't mind?
I'm fine with her being Oracle for a while.
You know what I wouldn't mind? In, like, let's say 15 issues, the title Nightwing and Batgirl. And it just continues the numbering.
Please, yes. I would be so excited for that, actually.
You need 22 pages on my desk by the end of the week. You know what? Give me a few Red Bulls and I will get it to you, bro. But you got to ship them from Krakoa.
Hey, yeah, ship them through one of them gates.
Exactly, bro. But yeah, that's my pitch. Am I hard on Bat titles? Yes, because they deserve to be. Because they deserve to be.
Yeah. Batman doesn't get a free pass.
Yeah. If a new reader picks Bat, it's just the Bat family, they're going to think, what the fuck is this? Well, here's the thing.
So then they're not going to be able to pick up Batman by Tynion right now.
Yeah, then you're not reading Batman by Tynion. You're not reading. You could read Detective. You're not reading Batman vs Superman or Batman Superman, and I guarantee you, then you're not reading the Robin series. So the Batman mythos and his family is so deep, going back years, like to the Silver Age. I think the Bat family first started expanding when Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil brought in Batgirl, and then you started going through your Robins.
Yeah,
and then you brought them all back.
And if a new reader is going to jump on Batman, it's not going to be with anything coming out current. They will have talked to somebody that knows Batman, and they will have told them to go read another run.
And also, that is kind of I could think that is a good starting point, because you kind of see where these characters fit in, like, the every family has like that pyramid of like hierarchy where these
Yeah.
characters fit in that hierarchy called the Bat Family. And you could just call it the Bat Family.
Yeah, pretty much.
Bat Family, the Detectives, or something like that. And give it to a writer. Or you could
Call
even
it what it really is. Alfred's Legacy.
Alfred's Legacy. Thank you. Good. Amen.
I got to get at least one Alfred plug in per show.
So I think that would be a great way. I think that would be a great way to get new readers into Batman.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I'm hearing you guys. I'm playing devil's advocate, and I get a lot of people are.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'm not trying to sound like we're not trying to sound like condescending or anything. Like, oh, cut this book, cut this book, cut this book. But when you're relaunching, it all goes down to what is the end goal of Infinite Frontier? Is it to give you as many Batman books as possible, or are they trying to build something here? And I'm not entirely sold that they're building something. They're just, like we said earlier, they're throwing books at the wall. If they don't sell, they're going in the Elseworlds.
Pretty much. And honestly, with DC, I'm trying to get more into DC because I pretty much only read Flash and a little bit of Batman.
Right.
But DC is extremely overwhelming. At this current moment, DC can be overwhelming for a lot of people, including me.
Right. And if you are a new reader to DC, my best recommendation is trim the fat. And read what you like. Read exactly. Books that you're going to enjoy. If you're not going to enjoy a Bat Family book, then don't read it. You know, so
yeah.
So, I mean, personally, and also as a business, you got to also look at what's going to sell, and an oversaturated market of Bat Family characters can be very lost.
It definitely can be.
Can be very lost.
Like, I'm reading 3 Bat titles right now, and I'm still missing some of them. And I'm about to pick 4 if you count Nightwing. I'm about to pick up a 5th with Robin.
Right.
And I'm still not reading everything.
So, yeah, that's my thing. That's my biggest thing about where the Bat titles are heading. I don't think...
Yeah.
I love James Tynion, but at the end of the day, Tynion is succeeding in his indie stuff, right? They're getting audited for Netflix shows. They're going to be on the big screens. So what is he doing in DC, right? He wasn't supposed to be the long-term writer going into 5G. So when they talked to him, he's like, I have this story. And he threw characters in there that we never heard of, which is great.
Exactly. And he told Joker War, which is going to be one of the most talked about stories for a few years.
Jokers. I think Joker War is more memorable than 3 Jokers, if you're asking me. And that's due because Joker War...
As a Jeff Johns fanboy, I would agree.
Joker War was a success. Whether you like it or not, it was a success. It did its job. Also, it's giving James Tynion IV everything he wants, which is royalties in a Batman book if his characters ever go on the big screen.
Exactly.
That's what he's doing at the end of the day, is he's collecting royalties and telling his story.
Which, good for him. Good for him either way.
Yes, we do. Which you can find that show. It's called Hall of Fame or Hall of Shame. That is the show with me and Ryan. And Bryce will be on there soon. Enough.
Yeah, I mean, I've mostly read stuff from like the 90s and 2000s, but I've been known to go back into some late 70s and 80s.
The one thing with universe resets is it makes the books more accessible to new readers. DC and Marvel fail at this consistently because every time that they reset their universes, both Marvel and DC, and like Dan said, it's a huge flaw. It's more like this isn't a character anymore. This is just this writer's take on this character.
You want to look at a way to relaunch a universe? Go talk to Jonathan Hickman. And you know what? Talk to Al Ewing. Talk to Al Ewing too.
I think Al Ewing has the most comprehensive mind in comic books right now. I even think he would have more of a comprehensive mind than Hickman if he were given, if Al Ewing could relaunch the Avengers. I think it would be the best book in Marvel. I think it would be the best book we've had.
Or even just, having them both work in. If you could somehow have them combine on like this huge event book, have Al Ewing plot the story and Hickman execute it.
Exactly. Look what Al Ewing did with Dan Slott, who's not a big event writer, but they made it work. Whether you read Empire or not, it was fine. It was fine. But
I heard as many good things about it as I did bad.
Oh yeah. Also in May, we're getting the Yara Flores story. Fable. We're getting Yara Flores.
Getting Yara Floor.
And Fable says he has to disagree. DC should turn me on to DC. There's going to be hardcore DC fan issues. That it just once you read and eventually you're going to get used to it. Is once you've been reading for years, you catch on to certain threads, certain trends,
Yeah.
and it's like every 5 years it's a relaunch.
Which, if you're new to DC and Future State got you into it, awesome.
Yeah,
these are issues we have with it. Like, I started reading comics with DC Comics, specifically with The Flash.
Right.
And so I've been a DC fan as long as I can remember.
Exactly. Missing Link said they had the perfect chance to relaunch Secret Wars after Hickman, exactly, and they failed.
Yeah.
They failed.
Yeah.
But it's getting fine. It's fine now. Look where Marvel's. I think Marvel right now with their continuity. If you get a better Avengers writer, the book will be fine. You get a better Spider-Man writer, you'll be fine. Everything is perfect, so I'm very forgiving for a bad Avengers book. But Spider-Man, I draw the line.
Yeah, Spider-Man needs
Yara Floor, yes, and that is a must-read for everybody because Yara Floor will be on the big screen, and this is a very good chance to get to know her character. This was my favorite book coming out of Future State.
I'll be honest, I didn't read any Future State. I picked up Teen Titans because I grew up on the animated series and they're introducing Red X. That is the only reason.
Yeah. Teen Titans is a great book.
It is.
Jason Aaron is a great writer. It's just I don't necessarily think he's doing a good job with his teen books.
I mean, I've liked everything I've read by Jason Aaron to the point where I'm considering Heroes Reborn. I haven't decided yet, but I'm considering it.
I love Jason Aaron. I love the Avengers book is the only book that I haven't liked of his. If you want a fun Aaron book, his Conan book is very good.
I can't wait to go back and read his Thor. All 7 years of it.
Thor is so seminal and it's so well respected, and he just passed the torch to Donny Cates. It's great. Yes, Don. Yep.
I've read one issue of Avengers, and it was the start of that whole Khonshu arc, and
garbage. Yeah.
It was the Moon Knight action was cool.
The Moon Knight action's fine, especially when he fought Black Panther.
Exactly.
And then in June, just to wrap things up, we got a Supergirl book by King and Bill Castavely. I'm super excited for this book because we get Crypto. And Supergirl is a character who I enjoyed when Mark and Draco was writing him in Rebirth. And I think Supergirl needs to get the Tom King treatment. Brandon's getting ready to break Justin's records. You know what I always say? Go hard or go home.
Go for the gold. Go for the gold.
And go for the gold. You know, y'all sticking here. You guys are great. If you are catching the replay, big shout out to you. If you catch us live, bigger shout out to you.
Thank you, guys.
Southern Bastards. Yes, probably Jason Aaron's best book that no one read.
My Chad recommended this.
It's awesome. Southern Bastards.
Forward to eventually checking it out.
I've read the first volume and it's fantastic. Boo, Tom King. Dan. No. I think his Supergirl will be great.
I would say that right now because I've only read his bad stuff.
We're not done yet, Fable. We're not done yet. We got one more book to talk about, Crush and Lobo by Maake Tamaki. I don't know why that's a thing.
Because Lobo hasn't gotten enough attention in the past few years, maybe. And I mean, Lobo's a decently cool character.
Yeah, but his daughter Crush can be fine. I think it'll be a good moment for Lobo. I'm definitely going to check out the first issue.
She was all right in Teen Titans.
I didn't read her enough, so this is going to be like my introduction to her.
The book sucked, but she was okay.
I'm sure it did. This was fun, guys. Got to go. Station. See you, Big Herm. Thank you for joining.
Station, Big Herm. See you later.
And then we have the Blue and Gold book coming in July, which is featuring Ted Kord and Booster Gold, written by none other than the creator of Booster Gold himself, Dan Jurgens, art by Ryan Sook, and I'm here for that. I'm here for it.
I mean, I'm down to check out the first issue.
I'm going to be picking up every issue.
What is it? 6 issue, 8 issue? Tomorrow. What's up, man?
It's going to be a mini, which I hope because here's the thing, right? And I think what DC is doing very well is they're giving us miniseries.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
There are characters that I would say give a miniseries to, or there are characters that give an ongoing to. For example, Aquaman.
Aquaman needs an ongoing. Green Arrow could use a mini.
Peter Tomasi could do a good Aquaman ongoing. I have a lot of faith in him. I think Maake Tamaki could do a good Aquaman story, even though she's busy as hell.
Yeah.
Stephanie Phillips, I would give an Aquaman book. I'm always a fan of anything Gail Simone does, or if Kelly Sue DeConnick wants to come back to the book. But Yeah, the booster and Beetle book will sell, especially because I think you're going to get a little bit of Jaime Reyes. I mean, I think you're going to get a little bit of him, but headquarters booster gold is.
Isn't that one of the biggest bromances in DC? Like,
Yeah, that's like the BFFs of the DC universe. That if you're a DC fan, that's just a relationship that you enjoy reading no matter what. Check out Giffen, what's his name? Kieran Giffen. Kieran Giffen's Justice League International with James DeMatteis. That was a lot of fun.
Keith Giffen?
Keith Giffen, yes. I was thinking Kieran Gillen, but sorry.
Yeah.
Keith Giffen. Keith Giffen wrote that back in the 80s. And it was a lot of fun.
But yeah, give Aquaman a book. Give Green Arrow a book. He hasn't had a book.
Green Arrow a book. And you know what? I would love. And yes, there weren't many highlights from Heroes in Crisis, but that was one of them.
Booster and Beetle. Yeah.
To me, it was Clayman drawing all of the flowers. That was fun. It was great. It was beautiful.
Wally West was definitely the highlight of Heroes in Crisis.
I think that they're like that book I wish we could forget about, and thankfully Infinite Frontier erases everything that happened.
Or it's trying to. Green Arrow won't let that happen, but
yeah, because Green Arrow is so hell-bent on making sure everyone knows who they are per whatever he's saying in Justice League. But
and Flash.
One punchy guy.
One punch Guy Gardner.
I'll never forget the first issue of High Racer's Blue Beetle, written by Keith Giffen. And Guy Gardner didn't know that Jaime Reyes was a thing because he was stranded on space, and first thing he does is just fight the guy. He talks to him while he's fighting, and Jaime Reyes is trying to explain why he's in the first place. And Guy Gardner's just beating the crap out of this kid. I'm just like, dude, what are you doing?
Guy Gardner's a douchebag.
Like, it's the biggest inconvenience of the Green Lanterns.
It's like, I know I keep bringing up Young Justice, but there's a scene in that where they're trying to add members to the Justice League. And they're like, well, there's a third Lantern, Guy Gardner, and Hal Jordan and John Stewart both look at Batman at the same time. I'm like, no. But no.
Picked Kyle Rayner. Well, Hal was dead at the time, but so
the scene that describes Guy Gardner perfectly.
Yeah, honestly, wrapping things up, Infinite Frontier is doing a lot of great things with their miniseries and kind of just giving you guys a feel of different characters. I just wish they had more direction.
Yeah, and don't get us wrong, the ongoings that they're doing well, they are doing extremely well.
Yeah, we're not hating on them. We're just
I mean, I've always said when DC's at the top of their game, it doesn't get any better.
Right, and right now they're not. They're not. So
not as a company, but some of those books, yes.
Some solo books are at the top. Nightwing, Swamp Thing, Wonder Woman. I can't think of anything else. Teen Titans.
Teen Titans, yeah.
Batman. I wouldn't say it's at its height, but it's not at its worst. It's in the good range. I give it like a B plus. If you're going on like seminal Batman runs, I'd give it a B plus. It'll be remembered. It just won't be
B plus to A minus for me. Yeah,
it'll be remembered. It just won't be top 5. I don't think on like the general consensus, But we're also getting a Stargirl series by Jeff Johns and Todd Knock, which Todd.
Is that a series or a one shot?
It's a series, it's a miniseries, but it's very Todd Knockian. It looks exactly like Young Justice, so I'm gonna be looking at it. I'm gonna be checking it out. I'm down. But yeah,
Superman and the Authority too.
Superman and the Authority in Action Comics. He's fighting Mongol.
Written by Grant Morrison. It's a 4-issue mini. I'll maybe try it out.
Yes, that's not coming out for a while though. Like a while. But
that's coming out the same time the John Kent book is, I think.
John Kent book. Okay. Yeah, Grant Morrison said he was going to retire from DC, and they're like, "Wait, we'll give you any book you want." He's like, "That one." We're not hating on DC. The point of like reviewing these, and I get a lot of people are newer readers. DC has been better. There have been better books. I like them. It's just I've seen it happen where companies that don't have a agenda of saying this is where we want to hit in our continuity, right? And I'm not comparing Marvel to DC right now. I'm comparing DC to DC.
Yeah.
Oftentimes when they're saying, hey, we don't have a plan this time, it's like, you're just going to give us solo stories, but what is it going to add up to? Or is it going to add up? Eventually, it has to, because what was the point of Future State if you're not going to pay it off somehow?
Yeah.
That's my whole thing is where does that payoff? When are we getting the payoff? What's it going to entail? And you could also completely bypass it and do your own thing. And
I would say, yeah, which is what I hope they do with some of the books like Nightwing.
right.
I honestly hope Nightwing doesn't tie into the huge picture that DC has. It can
Right.
tie into its own big picture, which I think it is with the whole Melinda Zuko thing.
Yes. Now, another
But
thing
I'd be cool with it being just that.
is through New 52 and through Rebirth, they've had an anchor. In New 52 is Jeff Johns, and in Rebirth it was Scott Snyder. I don't know if Joshua Williamson is a team writer, let alone an anchor per se. So
Yeah.
if you're just going to give us good stories, I'm here for it with no agenda. But they just got to make up their mind, and I don't think they have yet. That's my biggest.
They're trying to set Joshua Williamson as the run, but then they're giving Tom Taylor all the books and making him essentially their anchor.
And I'm just like, but he's not. He's just writing boom, boom, boom. And take care, Dan. Have a good night, brother. Thank you for joining. Have fun at work.
Later, Dan.
Drink your coffee. So
it's almost like they got multiple anchors right now, though, between Williamson, Tinney, and a little bit of Taylor.
Here's the thing, though. Scott Snyder and Jeff Johns were builders. They were universe builders, right? Tom Taylor is a story writer.
Exactly.
In Marvel, you can say Jonathan Hickman and Al Ewing are your builders. Zdarsky's your storyteller.
Yeah.
Okay, there's kind of a difference to me. When you're building a universe, you're building an event. You're building the big plan that you guys took months on during the pandemic to plan out. You know, what is that going to entail? Because we know Darkseid is here. You know, so that's really my biggest thing is I'm grateful for these individual stories, but at what point do we start looking at what the company is doing going forward? I think they're kind of trying to blind you from that.
It's going to be an interesting couple of months. I'll say that for sure.
Right. It's going to be interesting, but I'm here for the ride, of course. Exactly. You know, we're not hating on it.
No, like I still have 2 DC books out of my pull this week. They're sitting right over here left to read. I can't wait to get to those.
Right.
And like I'm in.
Right.
They're not going to lose me anytime soon.
Right. But anyway, I believe that wraps us up. I think we did break Justin's record, so hoorah.
Let's go.
All right, thank you guys for joining. This is Brandon.
And this is Bryce.
And that's Bryce. We'll see you guys next time for Weekly Wrap Up tomorrow.
Tomorrow for Weekly Wrap Up.
The show where we break
down again
what we read this week, and we're also be joined by somebody else.
Oh yes, we do have another surprise guest.
Caped Clown Comics making his debut on Weekly Wrap Up, so we're super excited. Make sure you guys sub up everyone in the Tag Team Thursday. It's in the description below. Make sure you sub up ComixKings to show support to the channel. Click the bell so you know when we go live. I have a lot of stuff planned for May that I'm going to be announcing starting this weekend. So, and I know Bryce knows all about it. So,
it's going to be a blast, guys. You're going to want to be subbed up. You're going to want to tune in tomorrow for us and Peter. Don't be too hard on him.
Yeah,
and you guys are great. You guys are the best.
Take care, guys. Station.